Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 92. Now this chapter, the cover page, it picks up where the last cover page kind of left off. I left that out in the last review by mistake, but basically Axe Hand Morgan is getting ready to be extradited. So this right here tells me one thing. Right away, Oda has bigger plans for him because I don't think that's going according to plan. And so I'm going to ask my chapter question now because one of you guys called it. I don't remember who it was, so give yourself a shout out if you're watching this. But one of you guys told me that these cover stories are going to start catching my attention. This has my attention because I actually like Axe Hand Morgan. So this, I'm very interested to see where Oda's going with this, man. And the thing is, it's like, I'm looking at his design, and I don't know if it's because I'm fresh off of seeing Deadpool, but I want to see some gory shit. You know, like, I want to see, like, it don't have to be bad. Just give me a little taste, man. But getting into this chapter, so, once again, Luffy is showing that he's firm in his conviction. He's not giving up no matter what the hell they say. And Luffy shows that he's pretty damn unorthodox when it comes to his fighting because basically Arlong's like, you're pretty tough for a human, but you're pretty stupid too. And what Arlong, damn. What Arlong says is, it's like, hey man, you're pretty tough for a human, but you're pretty stupid too. And that's when he goes for the spear, right? You know, he's thinking he's going to end this. And Usopp's like, Luffy, you idiot, do you not know what run means? I'm not run, hide. And right away, I'm thinking Luffy probably doesn't know what hide means. He probably doesn't know the definition. He knows what hide means, you know? And Luffy does not care. He takes his fingers and says, Gum Gum Shield. And that's a very deceptive title because I was thinking he was gonna like reform his hands into some type of shield, but I get it, you know, he just stretched them out, and it was very clever how Oda had him do it, you know. And I guess, you know, he would have to have like the devil fruit of silly putty in order to reform his whole body like that. So I was just thinking shield because he's done the Gum Gum balloon where he stretched his whole body out like that before, so I figured he could make his hands bigger. But you know, whatever, I'm alright with this. But here's the thing about it, right? He actually uses Arlong's momentum against him, spreads his fingers out, Arlong comes through, and he's got him trapped for a second. And Luffy uses that momentum to get himself one off of the bottom, you know, the ground where they're at, but to also get on top of one of the upper levels. So it gives him some room. But Arlong's like, look, man, that ain't gonna work against me, you know. And the crazy thing about that is yeah, you would think Arlong still has the advantage because he's fast, he's strong, and with Luffy, the playing field's leveled up there because, you know, Luffy only has one way to go down, which is if he loses his grip, it's down. He can't change direction in midair. But at the same time, that's the same thing for Arlong. But Luffy is more banged up than Arlong. You know, Arlong took some serious chunks out of him. So this was key, you know. But the thing about Luffy that I'm really starting to admire is he's always continuing to go forward, no matter what. After Arlong busts through the deck, Luffy's in the air, and right there he's got Gum Gum Finger Net. And I'm like, what the hell? Is there no limit to what he can do? Normally, when you just throw out new attacks, that's one of the problems I had with Fairy Tail early on, was I was like, Natsu just has an attack, Fire Dragon's anything, like Fire Dragon's nutsack, Fire Dragon's fart, like Fire Dragon's elbow, like just a whole bunch of like stuff coming out of nowhere. And I'm feeling the same way with Luffy, but at the same time, I'm learning to just roll with it because it's entertaining. And here's the thing, right? He actually gets Arlong in the fishnet, and I thought that was pretty clever the way he did it. And then he ends up spearing him. And that right there, man, I think that right there might be a momentum changer. Because I don't care how tough Arlong is, when you take in the fact the momentum that he hit the ground and Luffy's coming from high above. That's huge right there, man. That's huge. Now, the other thing that I liked about this chapter, it goes towards the end. And I think this right here, once again, speaks volumes to who Luffy is as a leader. And that's when Nami realizes, oh, they're in the chart room. And you can tell from the look on her face that there's a chance she might step in. And I'm hoping that she doesn't. I want to see Nami get involved, but at the same time, I want her to kind of stay out of this. And the reason for it is this. Arlong has this shark saw. And Luffy is in that room. And he's seeing how hard Nami's worked. You got all these charts all over the place. And on the real, I can respect that because, you know, I write, so I have notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks. I mean, you guys can tell, like, I have books upon books on top of that because if you write, you read a lot. And so I can definitely relate to that, you know, until I got a bigger space. That's how a lot of my room looked. I used to have notebooks all over the place, like file cabinets of stuff, because I have to write stuff out before I can sit down and write it on the computer. So that right there, I mean, I really relate to that. But right here, Luffy sees the blood on the pen to show you how, and it's dried blood. Because at first I was thinking maybe it was Luffy's because he is bleeding out and I could see him making that mistake. But you can tell that it's dried blood because Luffy's face is not being shown, and Oda's really good about using facial expressions. And right there, when you see that, you know how hard Nami has worked on those charts. And right here, you see the dried blood on there. I mean, that's just, that's beautiful. I mean, it's literally Arlong's and working her to the bone. And that's when Luffy says, look, man, like he's stopping the saw. But Luffy says use. And that's how the chapter ends off because Arlong said, can you use this girl like how I plan to use her in order to conquer the whole world? The East Blue is just the first step. And that's actually a very solid plan. I remember you guys telling me that the East Blue is basically filled with a bunch of pansy asses compared to everywhere else. So that's an actual solid plan to kind of conquer the East Blue first, then move out. But at the same time, Luffy's face, I mean, that's rage mode right there, man. Like that's very beautifully drawn. Just look at the shading done around his forehead, and you can see the eyebrows crinkled, and just the shading like on his knuckles, and you see how he's cracking the blade. This is beautifully done. This is some of the best artwork I've seen in One Piece right here. This is really, really good. Really hyped for the next chapter, man, because right away, just seeing how Luffy took that, it says something that I've, you know, pretty much accepted. You know, Luffy does view his team as, or his crew as being family, but at the same time, he doesn't view them as tools. And that's something that a lot of people in leadership roles, they make that mistake of seeing their employees or subordinates as a means to an end. At the end of the day, you do have a job to do, and that's what you're all there for, is to hit a common goal. But at the same time, what you have to keep in mind is that these are actual people. And that's something Arlong didn't do. And a lot of it is because, again, you know, Arlong has a prejudice against, you know, people. And it's my bet that somebody tried to cook his ass. And because shark meat doesn't taste bad, it's expensive as fuck. But it doesn't taste bad. So I'm thinking somebody tried to turn his ass into like a Super Bowl snack or something because they couldn't afford hot wings. Well, shark meat's more expensive, but you get what I'm saying. Somebody tried to, you know, go snack time on his ass. And he had a problem with that shit. And that's why he hates people. So right there, I could see why he views Nami the way he does. But oh my God, that was beautiful. Like that moment of Luffy picking up that pen, I put that in this arc right next to Luffy putting that straw hat on Nami's head, and right above him knocking out Arlong. So my chapter question for you guys is going to be this. Looking at the Arlong Park manga arc right now up to this point, what's your top 3 moments? That's gonna be my question, man. So let me know that right now. I think I already asked the chapter question early on, so you got 2 of them. So have fun with this one. But that's it for this chapter review. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, share. I greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Kryptonian Saying. Have an awesome day.